All right. I want to help you today. If you have somebody in your life, like a child or a spouse, somebody that you care about that you're not going to get rid of, that requires a lot of energy from you. Like every time that they walk into the room, you kind of are like, oh, like not again. What are they going to need? Or every time they open their mouth, you're thinking, this is too much. I can't do this. I'm already overwhelmed. I don't have time for this. Okay. So here's the place that I want to coach you. The first thing that you need to know is you have another part of you that is not like the real you. The real you that I refer to as like your spirit, your soul. It's the part of you that is like free and creative and happy and like meant to be joyful. Okay. Excuse me. But there's another part of you. There's a part of you that is wired to look for threats to your survival. And threats to your survival are like people's disapproval, because then like you might not have food, you might not have shelter if somebody who has those things disapproves of you. Remember, this is just like a very, very basic part of your brain that's just like here to survive. Other things that might feel dangerous are not having enough energy, not having enough time, not having enough food. That part of your brain is always concerned with how much of things you have. And by concerned, I mean, it's always going to be telling you you don't have enough. So notice how your mind instantly goes to, I don't have time for this. Anytime that this person walks into your life, or maybe it's just any person, like you have so much to do that anytime someone brings up a question to you, or they have something to ask, they have a thought, they need something from you. Notice how the thought that you have is some version of like, I don't have time for this, or I don't want to do this. Trust me, this is just the survival part of your brain. It's not possible for you not to have time for this person. Like if this is a child, you created this human, you've been keeping them alive for the last however many years, you definitely have time for them. And the thing that they need is not going to take up that much time. So when you feel like you don't have time, you always, or when you believe the thought, I don't have time, notice how it feels in your body. For me, it feels like, oh, like I feel like kind of tight. Like notice how it's a little tight, a little stressed. And then the thing that I do when I'm feeling that way is I usually snap at that person. Can you wait, please? I don't want to hear this right now. Like this isn't a good time, or I don't have time for this, or go ask your father. If you notice yourself kind of snapping like that, I promise you, I'm going to give you the perfect solution. It's amazing. All right. So here's the quick solution to this. You need to feel calm, right? You need to feel like you can respond to this person with love, because you do love this person. And responding always really snappy, it can damage a relationship after time. Like your child, the person that is needing you, is eventually going to get the message like, you don't have time for me. When really that's not the message that you want to give them. The message you always want to be giving them is, I love you. It's possible to still say no and communicate, I love you. So here's how it's going to work. I'm not going to tell you what to say to them. I am going to offer you a new thought. And I want you to, like the real you, to take this thought and just be like, what if it's actually true? And the thought is, I have time for you. It's a really nice thought. I want you to use it on everyone, including yourself. You need to know that your problems, your thoughts, your feelings, your requests, your hunger, your needs, your wants are important. And in order to do that, you have to tell yourself, of course, I have time for you. I always have time for you. So I feel like that's one of the most loving things that you can say to anybody is, I have time for you. And you might not even say it out loud. In fact, when I'm thinking I have time for you, all that happens is I feel calm in my body. And then I don't say I have time for you. I just listen. And then I respond in a way that feels like the actual me, instead of feeling like that snappy version of me that I don't love to be. Sometimes you might hear yourself talking and you're like, oh my gosh, who is that? Like, why am I being so mean right now? And the truth is, a lot of it just comes from this survival instinct. You don't have time for this. You don't have energy for this. You can't do this. That's just your brain's job to respond like that to literally everything. It's not the truth. It's just like your brain's trying to conserve resources so that you do have enough time, you do have enough energy. So the next time somebody comes in, maybe it's even while you're listening to this video or reading this email, I want you to think the thought, maybe I do have time for them. Maybe I have plenty of time. Maybe I have enough. Maybe I have 2 minutes for them. Whatever's going to work for you, offer yourself the idea that, of course, I have time. And then see what happens in your body when you actually believe that thought. I'm excited to hear what happens. If something magical happens for you, I want you to reply to this email. If you like, give me permission to share it if you want me to share it. If not, I would just love to hear it. So this is your homework. Practice the thought. I have time for you anytime somebody needs something, including yourself. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love that tip. I use it myself.